Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and this is the Storyteller Forecast for Gemini for November 2016. Go to my website, anniehelpsyou.com, see what's new on my blog, and if you're interested in being a coach, a life coach, a business coach, a spiritual coach, as your profession, check out my certification course that will be enrolling soon. So what's going on in November? This is one of the most exciting months of the year, and it's one of the most exciting months for a long time to come as far as momentum, expansion, fruition. We don't have a month like this for launching things and bringing things out into the world until the summer of 2017. We've got a Venus retrograde transit that encompasses most of the beginning of 2017, as well as dancing around Mercury retrogrades from January into May. So this is the time. If you want to push anything forward before the summer of 2017, do what you can to light a fire under your butt to do it now. That's part of why I send these reports out so early, at least a month early, so that you have planning time to get your butt in gear to maximize the results of the potentials that are sitting right before you. I always say, if you're trying to get off a deserted island and you made a boat, you don't wait till the tide's coming in to try to push out, because then you're paddling against the tide. It's silly. It's not going to work out. You're going to perish this way. So instead, you wait until the tide is going out and you launch your boat. And this is the philosophy behind my astrology work. So we want you to align your efforts with the starry potentials so that what you cast out can go further, and when you come in, you can go in deeper. Okay, so November is a time for casting out. For all placements, early, middle, and late degree Gemini placements, there is strong energy in the 6th and 7th house. So there's lots, like at least 12 amazing aspects this month, which cover, almost the whole month. And I'll go into more detail about that soon. But when those mathematical aspects occur, these harmonious ones, they send little blessings to the areas where those planets are in your chart. So two of the areas that are getting accentuated for all placements are the 6th and 7th houses. So every time one of these aspects happens, it's like, mwah, 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 these little kisses towards this area of your chart. One of those is the 6th house. The 6th house is the house of your daily routine. That's your exercise regimen, your yoga schedule, your supplementation, your medical stuff, anything having to do with your health, acupuncture, your healthcare team. It also has to do with pets, animals, your pets, working with animals, and it has to do with your work that you do every day. So if you're in an office, this would be your office dynamics, your office flow. If you work from home, it would be placed there as it relates to your work. You have massive opportunity to get more efficient with your energy. Gemini energy moves in a spiral. It's an upward spiral, but it's like, I'm over here, I'm over here, I'm over here, I'm over here. It's very dizzying energy. And when someone else is watching that energy, they can look at it and think, even though the end product is productive, the way to get there, there's a lot more energy spent to get to the outcome sometimes. So one of the themes of now is shifting the way you do your work so that you can do less work and you have more time to do your spinning things in other areas of your life that you're interested in. It's butterfly energy. So one way that you can accentuate this is by getting the book, The 4-Hour Workweek by Timothy Ferriss. You can get it on Audible. I highly recommend it. That's how I got it. And it has just totally restructured my life. Maybe you won't get your work hours down to 4 hours a week. I have not, and I don't expect to, but I can tell you I've gotten them down pretty low thanks to that book and the mentality that it brought to me. Part of the premise of the book is that you really figure out what has to be done, and you take several action steps a day. I don't know about your lists, but I'm a Sag and Gemini energy is pretty common. My lists, they're all over my, everywhere, of all these things to do in general. That's how I've always been. So of those lists, you can take some of those things off that don't actually have to be done. And of the things that have to be done, you can take off the list the things that don't have to be done by you. Getting really honest with yourself, and then going to a resource like Upwork, to upwork.com, and finding someone, a professional on there at a price that you can afford. There's all ranges of prices that can do the work for you that you don't want to deal with. I used to do everything myself, from website development, everything. And now I can find practitioners to do things, or people, professionals to do things that I don't need to be doing. So I can do what I do best. And this is a theme for you too. So you want to find help. Maybe it's a virtual assistant. Maybe it's someone who's going to do a project for you. There's people that do ghostwriting. There's people that do editing, name it. Also, if you have a service that you want to have more money coming in to provide, maybe you'll be a person offering your service on Upwork. And this month would be fantastic for that. And you could actually see great business and financial success from doing this. Something else, a simple recommendation as I've been going through this restructuring process through my 6th house, is even things like housework. I looked around and I thought, okay, I calculated I spend hours a week sweeping my house from dog fur and various other 2- and 4-legged activities. And then I got a vacuum cleaning robot. There's a wide range of prices for these, and some of them are very affordable. Now I don't do any sweeping at all. And the floor is always clean, which is amazing, especially for pet owners with long-haired animals. So things like this. Now I have hours back in my life because of the robot. So this is the type of story that these kisses from the stars are bringing in for you to activate. And the types of angles they are usually have some action required. Some blessings from the universe just come and they're there and you don't have to do anything. Some of those aspects, and quite a few of these ones in this month, are things you have to actually do something with. You have to make a decision. You have to activate them. So the 6th house is very active, and the 7th house is very active for all placements. The 7th house has to do with working together. It's your relationships. It's your marriage. It's your, people that you have significant one-on-one relationships with, your clients. Lots of opportunities coming in for developing your clientele, improving your communication with your people that you're interacting with, and getting help or cooperating with others for a shared goal. Getting people on the same page. Upwork is another fantastic way to use this energy because there are people looking for work, and if you can pay them to help you and you can have more time for yourself or for whatever you want to do, it's a shared outcome. And that's what this 7th house is bringing. So there's some really strong energy for you early degree placements, and this is coming soon for the rest of you. So basically, if your birthday is at the beginning of the sign, so like May-born Geminis, or from 0 to 9 degrees, if you're watching for your rising sign, this energy has Mars and the aspects with Mars bringing in 9th house goodness, which has to do with teaching, learning, editing, writing, speaking, religions, churches, spirituality, philosophy, anything having to do with international business, connecting with people internationally, long distance travel, studying different languages. You might see kisses coming then. And for the rest of you, this energy is going to get stronger for you in the future, in the near future. The later degree placements also still have some strong energy in the 5th house, which has to do with children, creativity, fun, athleticism, romance, true love, hobbies. So you'll have some kisses there, especially for your later degree placement. So that's towards the end of the sign. So I want to go more into the general transits and talk about why I recommend doing your Christmas shopping in November and having that wrapped up and other good stuff. November is a very exciting month. I'm calling the theme of November for all signs, advancement and ascension. There are lots of planetary energies moving through the sign of Sagittarius. And when this happens, there's an overall optimistic, awesome vibe that's lighthearted, it's fun, it's easygoing. It can be very productive as well, but it can be a little bit dizzying because it moves in a spiral. So it's kind of all over the place. So there's lots of expansion and fun to be had this month, and you'll feel the mood be quite elevated, especially compared to the recent months of eclipses and retrogrades. Speaking of retrogrades, November is the only month in all of 2016 where we don't have any days in the whole month in a personal planet retrograde or a shadow period of a personal planet retrograde. So we had some really good launch dates in October, but we've got even more awesome launch dates in November. Almost every day in the first week is amazing for anything that you want to do. Launches, good times, plans, outings, just overall good vibes. Almost every day the first week has amazing transits. the 15th, the 19th, the 22nd, the 23rd, the 26th, the 29th. And you can feel these energies often in the days before and the days after. So the month is just completely full of amazing opportunities. When you sign up for my free email newsletter on my website, anniehelpsyou.com, you will get a written version of the good dates, the challenging dates, the overview of the month, every month, a month early, the same way that I do the horoscopes early. So, and you get other gifts for signing up too. So if you want more information or seeing in a written form the energies that are coming up, then definitely go to my website and do that. So Mars is also wrapping up its movement through Capricorn. Mars visits a sign every 2-ish years. So whenever it's bringing its movement and activity to a sign, we have a lot of opportunities to move forward in our lives. Mars is like the border collie of the zodiac. If you've ever been around border collies, I always have had border collies my whole life, and they're busy. They're all over the place. And they can make you crazy, right? Because it's just such active energy, and they're strong and fast, and that's the energy wherever Mars is in your chart and in the sign that it's in. So when Mars is in Capricorn, which it is for the first week of November, that's the end of its cycle there, you have amazing opportunities to wrap up business-related things, work, career, life purpose, things involving establishing your authority, things involving authority figures, anything having to do with father or father figures, or people who have played that role to you. As Mars moves into Aquarius, we've got a couple of months of movement along the fronts of everything Aquarian, including all internet-based projects, humanitarian efforts, anything involving groups or teams or leading groups or working with teams or large organizations or humanitarian efforts or friendships or social media. So you've got a lot of opportunity with Mars, especially for things along these lines. There are a couple of spots in the month that are a little bit, I call it dicey, which means that the energies are a little bit challenging. I always think that the challenges give us more opportunities to advance and ascend, so I have an optimistic way of looking even at the challenges. So on the days leading up to that 5th supermoon at 22 degrees of Taurus on November 14th, there could be some emotions. Full moons bring emotions. And speaking of dogs, full moons always remind me of how dogs shake off after they get wet, because emotional energy is represented by water energy. And so at the full moon, any energies that we have in our field that haven't been shaken off tend to get shaken off in the form of some sort of little drama, some sort of little upset, coming to fruition, coming to completion. Sometimes it's a really wonderful thing and there are tears of joy, but sometimes it's just stressful. So I often feel the full moon like 48 hours before it actually happens. That's why I say the days leading up to November 14th. Then by the time the full moon comes, I'm good. I'm done with my moment or whatever. So the fact that this is a supermoon, which means that the moon is actually closer to the earth, you can see it. It looks huge. It also increases the gravitational pull and effects on the earth. So anything involving water, like water coming where it shouldn't be, emotions coming where they shouldn't be, excess emotions, can definitely come up. There could be something around the energies of Taurus where it has to do with money or how you make money, your income, something of value, and figuring out things of values, just your values in general. Another very notable transit is a square between Jupiter and Pluto. Whenever we have an aspect between outer planets, which are the ones that take longer to move around, these times of coming together last longer. And so this first Jupiter-Pluto square is happening on November 24th, Thanksgiving. So that could bring some conflicts for people in the United States around our holiday, our Thanksgiving holiday. So look out for that. But this is the first of 3 squares. The second one is March 30th of 2017, and the last one is August 14th of 2017. So from November through August, there's a theme of Jupiter and Pluto coming together in a challenging aspect. Jupiter rules Sagittarius. It wants to expand and go broad. Pluto rules Scorpio, and it wants to contract in and go deep and get really focused and really deep. So when these energies that are kind of, it seems they're actually opposite, come together, it stops you from going too deep or too broad. But I see this as a positive thing because either of those energies in excess have their limitations. So I think that you can get the best of whatever you're working on by not letting your Jupiterian expansion get too big, too fast before you can manage it, and Pluto kind of keeping it in check, and not letting you go down into an abyss that Pluto tends to go down into too deep because Jupiter buoys it up. So you'll see this energy of kind of antagonistic forces at play throughout this time. And I'm calling it a little bit of a buzzkill energy because compared to the rest of the vibes of the month, it's a little bit annoying, but see it for what you can do with it. The last little touchy spot is on the last day of the month, which is November 30th. And that's when there's a challenging aspect with Neptune. So deception, self-esteem pings, confusion, insecurity can come up at that time. But don't let these things daunt you because the rest of the month is so amazing that it's like you can't let anything get you down. So if you would like to sign up for my free email newsletter, definitely go to my website, anniehelpsyou.com. Definitely check out what's new on my blog. I have new things up there every month, and plus old stuff you can check out. And if you're interested in becoming a life coach, a business coach, I have a coach certification and online business training course that is enrolling in January, and you can get first dibs at the open slots if you email me on my website. Also, starting enrollment in January will be my astrology apprenticeship program and my creating successful online business program, which is part of the life coach program, but I also offer it separately. So I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.